What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another Rent-A-Girlfriend chapter review. We are on chapter 430, and this chapter, to me, should be a little bit exciting, obviously. With the last chapter, that being 429, that ended off on Chizuru calling Ruka, and that's how it ended off, obviously. We didn't really get to see if Ruka picked up or not, so I'm interested to see how that goes. And to me, that is pretty exciting. I would like to see Chizuru just like body Ruka for once, you know what I'm saying? Just absolutely just assert her dominance or whatever, man. But we'll see how that goes, I guess. Anyway, we pick up right where we left off with Ruka being surprised that Chizuru was calling her. Because realistically, why would Chizuru even call Ruka in the first place, right? It's not like they're like actually buddy, you know, best friends. They're not. Chizuru has her acting stuff. Ruka has whatever she does in her free time, I guess, whatever she does, basically. But it makes sense why she's surprised. Why would Chizuru actually be calling Ruka right now? That's what we need to figure out. And then we get our chapter artwork title thing, and this is really the highlight of the chapter for me. Surprisingly, honestly, it's not the fact that Ruka's on my screen, it's the fact that Kazuya is in the back looking like he's about to deadlift, right? And if you calculate the pound, like the kg or whatever they use in Japan, right, it looks to be a 45, a 25, and a 10. And if you calculate a 45, 25, and a 10 from kg to pounds, right, because I know most of us are probably American, that is 452 pounds. So does this confirm that Kazuya is the strongest character in Rent-A-Girlfriend? I don't know. I have no idea, dude. Let's go, though, Kazuya. Kazuya seems to be in the gym, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, we cut back to Ruka being surprised how Chizuru's calling her. She starts questioning why Chizuru's calling her, obviously. She's already here like, does it have something to do with Kazuya? Does it not have something to do with Kazuya? Let's be real here. We all know it has something to do with Kazuya, obviously. I'm pretty sure that's obvious. I don't know what Ruka's talking about. Does it have something to do with Kazuya? We all know it has something to do with fucking Kazuya, obviously. And then Ruka starts like imagining this scenario where Chizuru is like sitting on Kazuya and like asserting her dominance on Ruka, which is like not a possibility, obviously, but that would be pretty cool to see. I'm a fan of all the Ruka hate. I'm a fan of all the Ruka sadness and hate. And this would probably be the greatest panel in like manga history, honestly, if that were to happen, to be honest. But instead, that's just an imaginary scenario, so it doesn't actually happen. And then we see Ruka like stressing out once again that she does not want to call Chizuru right now whatsoever. So then ultimately, Ruka makes the decision to decline the fucking call. She's like, hell fucking no, dude. I'm not about to sit through that conversation of Chizuru asserting her dominance or whatever the fuck she thinks is gonna happen. So she declines the call and she says, geez, what am I supposed to do? And the realistic option here, Ruka, is to break up with Kazuya already, or just leave Kazuya alone for like the rest of your life already, dude, and realize that you have life outside of Kazuya. You live your own life, you know what I'm saying? Live your own life. And then Ruka decides to like chill her head off by doing some karaoke and basically, I guess she's like screaming into the microphone right now. You know, I didn't really expect Ruka to be that kind of like punk rock genre, but apparently she's really into punk rock, apparently. Or it's just a pop song and they're just like, Ruka's just terribly singing and just like screaming into the microphone. I don't know. I'm going to assume that Ruka's a halfway decent singer and she's just screaming a punk rock song, probably. But then we cut to Chizuru, who's on the other side. Obviously, she's trying to call Ruka, and there's not much to really say on this page, besides the fact that, of course, the author of Rent-A-Girlfriend has to remind you that he can actually draw cities and stuff. He can actually draw, and that Rent-A-Girlfriend is not absolute garbage. At least the art is fine, and it's lookable at least. But then we actually get to see Chizuru, and I guess she's like aura farming or something. I don't really know what she's doing here. I mean, she's just like staying there, not saying anything, looking at her phone, trying to call Ruka. I would assume that she's just trying to aura farm. You know, she's trying to get her aura up so she can fulfill the prophecy of Kazuya and Chizuru getting together, obviously. And then Chizuru starts talking, and she starts talking about how Ruka doesn't really have to answer the call, right? Chizuru has said time and time again that she is not interested in Kazuya, obviously. Over the span of 400 chapters, I would actually wonder how many times Chizuru has said to Ruka that Kazuya is all yours, Ruka, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in that. But now that has changed, obviously, right? Chizuru has feelings for Kazuya, right? She has to come back into the picture now and hopefully just absolutely decimate Ruka off the face of the planet and take the boyfriend. You know what I'm saying, dude? Take the fucking boyfriend. But then Chizuru sees a cat and somehow, some way, she pulls out a bowl and puts cat food inside of the bowl. I don't know if you're like, do people do that? Like, I did not know Chizuru carries a bowl and cat food and just like feeds a stray cat or something. I find that to be pretty weird, but I guess that's chill, I guess. But obviously Chizuru is thinking about the situation she's currently in with Kazuya, right? She says that I need to make up my mind and actually apologize. You know what I'm saying, dude? I've realized now that I have feelings for Kazuya, okay? After 400 chapters of not realizing and basically doing nothing, I've realized now that I have feelings for Kazuya. So I need to like actually kind of tap in a little bit is really what she's trying to say right here. And she's just like looking at the cat, I guess. I don't know if the cat's like gonna like tell her something, man. Maybe the cat is like a demigod or something. I don't know. And then Chizuru gets all like philosophical on us. She's talking about how love is difficult, and she's like talking to the cat, like say something back, I guess. I don't know what her obsession with cats is. I kind of find this weird in anime and manga that like a lot of female heroines have this obsession with cats. And if you know the explanation behind that, maybe share that in the comment section below. I don't know, dude. I don't really care that much about the obsession with cats, but whatever, I guess. I guess Chizuru's like maybe losing her mind. She's talking to cats now. But then we get to see the real aspect of this chapter, and it's the fact that Kazuya looks to be finally tapped in, like absolutely just locked in here. You can see he's in the gym, bro. He's on the treadmill. He's fucking locking it in, dude. This guy's gonna get like 8-pack abs before we even know it, dude. He's about to start hopping on steroids, you know what I'm saying, dude? Hop on the trend, dude. Hop on the fucking test, dude. He's about to upload a gym influencer channel, and he's gonna like lock it in from here, obviously. And it really seems that Kazuya is actually like tapped the fuck in here. We can see that he's even at the gym. He's at the fucking driver's license branch or whatever, driver's ed class or whatever, right? It really seems that Kazuya has finally locked it in. He's realized his opportunity here, and he's gonna like actually just like tap the fuck in. Let's fucking go. You know what I'm saying, dude? Let's fucking go. And we even get to see Kazuya filling out his like job application stuff. They're talking about what are your strengths, 400 words or less or whatever, man. And it just really seems like Kazuya has kind of changed his life around a little bit here, dude. He's finally realized the opportunity with Chizuru he has. He's going to make the most of it. He's going to make the best of it, bro. It's finally time. It's finally time. After 430 chapters, Kazuya has realized it's time. I mean, look at this shit, dude. He's back in the gym, dude. He's back in the gym. And while he's on the trainer or whatever, he's doing the stupid love confession thing again, man. I don't really care about the script or whatever he's writing for this love confession. Like, when has anyone ever done that before? I don't like think Chizuru. I've always asked this question, obviously, but why isn't Chizuru the one writing the love confession, to be honest? Why isn't Chizuru putting in the effort? Why is Kazuya still, after 400 chapters and obviously relaying his feelings, still doing this? Makes no sense. Anyway, Kazuya is apparently back in the gym, bro. Back in the gym. I guess he's like thinking about Chizuru while he's working out. I guess that's whatever, you know what I'm saying, dude? He seems to be tapped in, you know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna leave it at that, bro. He seems to be absolutely locked in. And I mean, there's really not much to say here besides the fact that Kazuya is putting in the work, bruh. He's realized his goals. He's locking it in from here, bruh. It's obvious, dude. It's so obvious. He realized this opportunity, dude. He's locking in. He's getting the license. He's getting the job. He's getting the 8-pack abs, bro. It is so obvious. Kazuya has transcended. He has transcended, man. He's transcended from a regular human to a high-tier human. Think about that. Anyway, this chapter ends off with us cutting back to Ruka, who's laying around in her like house or whatever, with her finally calling back Chizuru. So now we can suspect that next chapter is going to be the conversation between Chizuru and Ruka, and that's probably going to be like the most climactic thing I think I'm ever going to see in my lifetime, basically. Anyway, this chapter of Rent a Girlfriend gets a 6 out of 10 on my Rent a Girlfriend scale. It was pretty mid, to be honest, dude. There wasn't really a lot going on there. It was really kind of just like a dragged out chapter once again. I think you could have probably fit in the Kazuya or the Chizuru and the Ruka conversation, but I guess Ruka just like declined the call for some reason, even if she was going to call her back in the same chapter. Really makes no sense. Once again, the pacing's horrendous. But hey, the really spotlight of this chapter for me was, of course, Kazuya putting in the work. He's finally realized, bro. He's locking it in. Let's fucking go. I'm interested to see what happens next chapter, obviously. I'm waiting for that Chizuru and Ruka conversation. That's probably going to be one of the hypest things ever. Anyway, I'll see all of you next Tuesday for that conversation. Let's fucking go.